Journals and notebooks sell very well on Amazon. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a journal to sell on Amazon KDP for free, which is ideal if you want to start your own journal business. But why would you want to do this? Well, as I've just said, they do sell very well. And in fact, last month, as you can see here, I received $4,333 in royalties from the sale of my journals and notebooks on Amazon. Now, there was some ad spend there, which was $869.60, which means that my income from my journals and notebooks in June 2021 was $3,463. And that's not bad considering that June is normally a quiet month, and normally the sales of all these types of books will increase through to the holiday Christmas period. Also, they're great if you want to create a journal, a personalised journal that you can purchase and give away as gifts to friends and family. Or if you run a club or have your own business, you can also create journals and notebooks for your customers and participants to buy. Now, earlier this year, I did help a business, an alternative therapy business, create their own journal, which they had their customers purchase from Amazon, which they then used as a kind of a health diary log notebook. And so you can see there's quite a number of opportunities there. Now, who is this video for? Well, it's for those that are just starting out and are wanting to create their own business. It's also useful for those that have already tried this process but have come across some hurdles and have not managed to quite get there. If you've already published, quite a few journals, 100 journals or so, and you're familiar with the process, this video might not be for you, unless you want to pick up some tips and tricks, which I'll go through during the video. Now, this is a business, it's an ideal business that you can do using your laptop, using your computer from home, or anywhere else in the world for that matter, although, yeah, it's a bit difficult at the moment with all the things that's going on. So we're going to split this video into three parts. One is creating the cover, two is getting the interior for the notebook, and three is putting it all together and uploading it to the Amazon KDP platform and hitting that publish button. So there's quite a lot of information that we're going to cover, so let's get straight on with it. So the first step is creating the cover, and we're going to do this at canva.com, which is a free web-based software platform where you can design the cover. So just go to canva.com, click on sign up here in the top right hand corner, and you can sign up with your email address or with Google. Once you've done that, it will open up a page which will look very much like this. Now, we don't want to hit on create a design here. We want to click on custom size here, and it will open this box here. Now we need to put in the width and height of our cover. Now, the book cover is basically going to be rectangular in shape, and it's going to include the space for the back cover, space for the front cover, and the bit down the middle, which is the spine. Now, the size is going to be dependent on two factors. One is the size of the notebook. In this case, it's going to be 6 by 9 inches, which is a common size for a small pocket type notebook. And the other factor is going to be the number of pages. Now, this notebook is going to be 120 pages. That seems to be the average number of pages of most notebooks. Now, we need to get the size of this, and we need to download this as a template first of all. So in order to do that, we need to go to a website called bookout.com, and you'll come to the home page, and all you need to do is click on KDP Cover Template Generator, and it will open this page. And here we put in these details: the width of our notebook, which is 6, the height, which is 9, the page count, 120, and just scroll down a little bit. You can leave these next two boxes blank. You put in your email address here in these two boxes, click on consent to email, and then click on email cover template. Now, when you do that, a box will appear and it will give you the options of making a donation, but you can download it for free. Then we go back to Canva. Now here, as I said, we want to put in the width and height of our template. So if you just open up the template that you've downloaded from bookout.com, you will see here in the top left hand corner the dimensions that we require, which is this here, which is 12.52 inches by 9.25 inches. So we go back to Canva and put in those dimensions, 12.52 by 9.25. Now, this is a mistake a lot of people make, and that is the units here. It opens in default with px for pixels, but we want to change that to inches. So just go to the drop-down menu and click on inches. Now you may need to put in the figures again. The issue is if you forget to change the units, you'll end up creating your cover. When you do upload it to the KDP platform, it will look very odd. So we now click on Create New Design. And here we have the blank sheet for our cover. And what we need to do is just drag in the template that we created and just drop it here where it says drop to upload your file. Then just drag across, and then you'll notice it will just click into place in the top left hand corner, and then just drag it to fill the whole screen. Now, on top of this, we need to create the actual background to our book cover. So go to Elements, then find the Lines and Shapes section, and then just drag over the square box like so, and just again put into the top left hand corner, drag over to the right to fill our area, and drag down to the bottom. Now I want to change the color of this, so here we can change the color and have these options here, or we can choose our own custom color. So I'm going to click on Add New Color, and we want a turquoisey blue type color for this, and I'm just going to adjust with this little circle here. I'm just going to move that around until I get the cover that I want. Now what I want to do next is just to make this layer a little bit transparent, because I want to see the template underneath. So this box here, this checkered box, just click on that and then just move the transparency slider and just move it to something like, 50% or something around that area. Now next we want to add our graphical elements. Now Canva do supply free graphical elements. Again, if we click on the elements box, and we've got this section here on graphics, we can click on See All, and you'll have this whole list of options available here. Now most of these will be free. If you see a little box next to the image, that means you need to pay for the pro version, or pay for a once use pro license. Now when using images or graphics from any site, you need to make sure you're complying with the license agreement. Now on Canva, they do have a section where it says Free Media License Agreement. I suggest you make yourself familiar with that. It does say all free photos, music and video files on Canva can be used for free for commercial and non-commercial use. But I do suggest that you make sure you are familiar with the agreement and that you're complying with the license agreement terms. So we've got these options here, and you can see they're all grouped together and all have similar color themes as well. Now if you don't like these, there is another option, and it's an option where I get a lot of my graphics, fonts, background images from, and that is Creative Fabrica. And here we can see they have all these selections of different fonts, images, graphics, designs, and a lot of them can be used on print-on-demand products like books. They're also very useful because they do have a lot of interiors also for sale. So today we're going to be going through a basic lined notebook, but if you then wanted to go on to create something a bit more adventurous, something different, you could use interiors direct from a site like this. And I know at the moment they are running this special offer. It's called Christmas in July, so I presume it runs to the end of July, and you can get access to all of this for just $1. But then we'll renew on a subscription basis at $19 a month, which gives you access to the fonts, images, and all the interiors. I subscribe to Creative Fabrica. I've been using this now for over a year, and I get a lot of my images and some interiors from there. It's very useful and well worth it. But you don't need that, because today I'm going to show you the free option with Canva. So let's go back to our cover template. Now I'm going to use these graphics here, the bold foliage, because I quite like the look of those. And you can see when I hover over them, it does say free. You can click on those three little dots, give you some more information. So we're just going to reduce the size of that, put it in position on our cover. You can rotate it slightly. Now you do need to make sure it is within this darker border. and you can just drag across, reduce the size, rotate accordingly, like so. You can move these about and you can see we're slowly building up our cover here. And I quite like this. It's going to have sort of a, I don't know what you would call it, sort of a 1950s, 1960s retro California type theme, or maybe a tiki or tiki, however you pronounce it, type theme. So I'll do this quickly. I'd normally spend maybe a little bit more time on doing this. Now, I want a title to appear on the front of the notebook. Now, one of the rules of Amazon KDP is that the title of your book must appear on either the front cover or the spine. So for this, it's just going to be a notebook, and that's going to be the title of our creation. So we're going to put notebook on the front cover. If you didn't want to do that, then you could put notebook along the spine, which is this vertical area here. So in order to put our title, we're just going to click on the text box on the left hand side here, and you can search through all the different fonts available. I'm just going to click on this one here, and I'm going to get rid of this top bit where it says a gift, and we're just going to keep this particular font here. I'm going to reduce it in size. I'm going to double click on it and write notebook. Click outside the box and then just drag it into position. I'm going to move our graphics, our images just out of the way slightly. And I'm going to change the color of the font. So we click up here where it says text color. And I want this pinky type color. Again, you could choose any color you wanted. I'm going to choose this pinky type color, which I think will go well with all the other colors and the color of our notebook. Now, our background is transparent. So now what I want to do is just click on the background, click on our transparency box here, and then just to turn the transparency back up to normal or 100%. And there we have the basic cover of our notebook. Now here's something else you can do which is quite cool. If you look on the left hand side menu, you can click on styles, and they've got all these different color combinations here, and you could try and see what your notebook looks like by changing this font and color combinations, and you can come up with some quite cool looking creations. So there's lots of options there, so you can really explore your creative urges, if you like, and create something quite unique and colourful. But I want to go back to where we were, so I'm just going to undo what I did. And there we have our cover. Now the next stage is we need to download that to our computer as a PDF file. So top right hand side, click on download. Where it says file type in this box, click on PDF print and just click on download, and that will download to your computer. Now what we need next is the interior for our notebook. If you see here, this is a graph paper style interior, but what I'm going to show you is going to be a plain lined notebook. Now, just a small note, people often ask me, are people using notebooks or journals anymore? Well, I can categorically say yes. One, from the sales that I get of journals and notebooks. Plus two, I mean, I personally use these all the time. They're handy to carry around with a pen. You can keep them by the bed. You can just put them in your pocket, take them out with you. Great for making sketches and notes. I use them all the time, especially these very small type field notes type notebooks. So where do we get our interior from? Well, I've got this free option for you. If you go over to my Gumroad shop, I'll leave a link below in the description to that, as well as a link to the Creative Fabrica website that I mentioned a moment ago. You will see I've got all these options here for various things, mostly keywords, but we've got this lined paper option here. If you just click on that and just scroll down a little bit, in this box here, you can name a fair price or put in 0. Click on add to cart. You may need to set up an account with Gumroad, and then it will give you the option then to download it to your computer. And that will be a PDF file of 120 pages of lined notebook paper. So now we've got our cover and we've got our interior, it's now time to put that all together by uploading it to the KDP platform, which is part 3. So if you go to kdp.amazon.com, you'll see here you have the options to sign in if you already have an Amazon account, or sign up if you don't have an Amazon account. And people from most countries in the world can create an account on Amazon KDP, and normally you will need to supply something like your bank details to receive payments of any royalties you make. So once you've done that, all you need to do is go to your KDP dashboard. And here you have the options of clicking on Bookshelf, Reports, Community or Marketing. And you want to click on Bookshelf, and it will take you to a page which looks very much like this. You then click on Plus Paperback or Add Paperback. And I'm going to quickly run through filling out all the options here. Now, I normally leave language as English. In book title, we're just going to put in notebook, because that appears on the front cover of our notebook. That can be whatever you choose, as I said, as long as it appears on the front cover or the spine of the notebook. Subtitle, just put something descriptive. Here I'm going to put retro, styled, colourful, blank lined notebook. We can leave this option, the series option. We don't need to put anything there. We don't need to put anything in the edition number box. And when it comes to author, you fill out the first name and the last name boxes. Now, you need to produce something original, an original author name. Now, I use pen names. You can use your own name if you want, but I suggest making something up. So what should we put here? We'll put in Retro Press. Now, that's just something I've made up. There might already be a publisher with that name. Again, it doesn't matter, but I would suggest, whatever you do choose, just do a search on Amazon to make sure no one's picked it. I say it's no big deal if you do, but you don't want to go infringing, particularly on maybe a trademarked publisher's name. So, but I'm just going to pick this because that's just come up from the top of my head. You can leave the contributors blank, and in here you put a description. So I'm going to put in a colourful, retro inspired 6 by 9 inch notebook with 120 pages. Now that's a very short description. I'd probably add in some other details just to make it sound a bit more attractive, a bit more appealing. If you like, this is almost like a little sales letter. Then scroll down a bit further, publishing rights, click on I own the copyright and I hold necessary publishing rights. Here are the keywords. Now these are words that will help your book or your notebook or journal get found when someone types in the Amazon search bar. Now, choosing keywords is quite an in-depth process. Now, I've done a video on how I use keywords, which I'll leave a link to down below and in the top left-hand corner here. I suggest, when it comes to doing the keywords, just take a quick look at that video. There's also another video prior to that, which will be linked to in that keyword video also, which will give you the full outline of looking for good keywords and using them properly. But if you're just starting out, I wouldn't get too worried about it. And in fact, I'm going to show you what I do. I'd probably put in retro, notebook, journal. Who could this be for? Mom, dad, what could it be? It could be a present, gift, gift idea. What are some other keywords? Maybe tiki, blue, foliage. And you can fill out all these keyword boxes, and you just want to use words that are related to your book, and also put in some buyer keywords that people would use when searching on Amazon for products like this. So again, I've put things like present, gift, idea for gift ideas, and that type of thing. If it was for your business or club, you could put in club, details, your business areas. It could be alternative health, therapy, that type of thing. Now we come to the next box, which is choose categories. Now you've got a lot of options here, so many options, and there's no shortcut around this other than going through all the different options here and looking for something that's most appropriate to what you've created. So here we might look at non-fiction, body, mind and spirit. I might put in something like general there. Might click on design, click on decorative arts. That's just a quick example. What I suggest doing is going through the categories in a little bit more detail to find something that's most appropriate. You won't usually find something that's exactly about what your notebook's about, but just create or just pick 2 categories that do sort of pertain to your style, the type of notebook that you've created. Then click on Save. Next, adult content, no. Click on Save and Continue. Then where it says Get a free KDP ISBN number, I click on Assign me a free KDP ISBN number, assign ISBN. Publication date, you can leave that. Print options, now most notebooks have a black and white interior with white paper. That's the cheapest option and most common option. Did want to create a colour interior, you've got that option there as well. The problem is with a colour interior, it is more expensive, so your profit margins will be a lot less, and you may find you have to price your book to a point where it's not very competitive on Amazon. But for most cases, click on the black and white interior with white paper. We come down to the trim size here. This is already populated with a 6 by 9 inches, but if you click on select a different size, you have got these other common sizes there, or you could put in a specific book size if you've created something unusual. Bleed settings. Now, this sometimes confuses a lot of people, and understandably so. Again, I've done a video on that. I'll leave a link to that in the top left corner. For this, the lines are going to go from one edge of the page to the other, which means this book has bleed. So we click on bleed. Now, cover finish, this is entirely up to you. You've got the choices of matte and glossy. I actually quite like the matte finish, and I choose that for a lot of my books. Now, if the book cover is black, often that can look better if it's glossy because it doesn't show the fingerprints as much. But for this cover, I'm going to choose matte. Now we come up to the manuscript, and that's the interior of your book, and that's the lined, the PDF lined file that we downloaded from my Gumroad shop. So just click on Upload Paperback Manuscript, find where you downloaded that to on your computer, and then just upload it to the platform. That sometimes takes a few moments. Scroll down a bit, go to the book cover section, and here we're going to click on this option here, upload a cover you have already created, which we did obviously in Canva. Click on upload your cover file. Again, find on your computer where that downloaded to and upload it to the platform. And again, it takes a couple of moments to upload. Once that is done, you'll notice the launch previewer button turns yellow. Just click on that. So just let it do its thing, and we'll jump to that in a moment. And so it looks like this, and you can see our cover here. You can see where they're going to place the ISBN number that they automatically create for you. And you can click on the arrows here to just check the interior of the book. And you can see there's no issues here. If there is issues, there's normally a little red warning triangle, and in this or on this left hand side, it will tell you what issues there are, if any. But this all looks absolutely fine. You can go through all 120 pages if you like, but as all these pages are the same, we don't really need to do that. Then you just click on Approve. So scroll back down to the bottom of the page, click on Save and Continue. Now here, where it says territories, I normally just leave it as all territories. That's worldwide rights. Primary marketplace, Amazon.com. You can choose a different marketplace. However, I sell most of my books on Amazon.com, which is the US platform. That's where the biggest market is. So I would suggest leaving that as Amazon.com unless your book is for a particular market. It might be one that's in Spanish or Italian or something specific to the UK market, in which case you can change the primary marketplace, but I always leave that as Amazon.com. Now we come to the pricing. What price to pick? Well, most notebooks and journals are priced at around the $6.99 mark, which is what I would suggest pricing yours at too. If you're wondering, or you've created something different and you're wondering about the price, what I would suggest doing is going onto Amazon, looking at other books similar to the books that you've created, looking at what those prices are and picking something around the average of all those different prices. So for this, we're going to put in $6.99. Now the platform is quite clever and will calculate equivalent prices in all the different marketplaces, and you can leave them as is, which is what I normally do. Or If you want to have different prices in different countries, you can go through these and change these individually. And that's it. The next thing to do is click on Publish your paperback book. It will then come up with an option. Do you want to publish this as a Kindle ebook as well? Which I would suggest ticking no, because there's not a lot of demand for notebooks and journals in electronic form because you can't write in them. So you can see that's not taken a huge amount of time. And once you've done that, you're now a published author, you're a publisher, and congratulations. So this hasn't taken me a lot of time, but if you're doing this first time around, it's obviously going to take you a bit longer. Some people do get very nervous about the whole process, but don't. Just do what I've shown you, go through those steps. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot that you can get wrong, although initially, don't be surprised if you do make a few initial mistakes. Remember, all this is free, so you can make mistakes and you can experiment. Now, if you do find yourself getting stuck at a particular part of this process, then I do have a book tutorials playlist, which I'll link to here, which explains some of the various steps in more detail. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and please hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much for your time. It's very much appreciated. And until next time, goodbye.